That and Goodwill, they're right there together, and it's the most amazing thing. Hi everybody, welcome back to Reissued. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. If you're not new here, thank you for being awesome and staying awesome. I mentioned in my last video, the apartment tour video, that I wanted to make some shelves for my kitchen. I don't have a lot of upper cabinet space, and so I need some more shelf space for my glassware. And I thought it would be cool to do something that's kind of lighted, like when you go to a cool hip bar and they have like all the bottles kind of like backlit or like uplit. I think something like that would be really cool. So I got really lucky. I went to the Habitat for Humanity Reef store. That's my go-to place. That and Goodwill, they're right there together, and it's the most amazing thing. I found this kind of basic looking wooden drawer. I was thinking that I would make something out of a drawer, and I was expecting that I would get maybe like a cheap chest of drawers or something and cut them apart or use multiple drawers. But I ended up with just one drawer that was big enough for everything that I needed, and I got it for $3. And I also found some sheets of plexiglass that were there that were $2, which was a really good find because plexi can be a little bit expensive these days. So I am planning to cut the drawer apart and then sit the plexi across the top. And then I have, also in the apartment tour video, I showed you those under cabinet lights that I have along lighting up under my cabinets. I have an extra set of those from when I lived in New York and my kitchen was bigger and I had more cabinet space. So I have 4 lights that I'm going to insert on the inside of the drawers to be able to light them from the inside, shine through the plexi, and then light up the glasses from underneath. That's the plan. We will see how that goes. So come on, let's do it. The drawer was much too deep, so I needed to start by cutting it in half depth-wise. I measured and marked the halfway point and then started to cut along this line with a handsaw. If you only have access to a handsaw, this method is totally doable. However, since I wanted to move things along a little quicker and the wood that the drawer was made out of was especially hard, I opted to bring out the power tools. This was my first time using a skill saw, and it took a while to adjust to managing the guard and cutting along the right part of my line, but it definitely sped up the process. I cut all the way around until my drawer was split in 2. Next, I needed to cut the drawer in half again widthwise to create my 2 smaller shelves. Once again, I measured, marked, and cut along the line with the skill saw. Now my shelves were starting to take shape and I could see how the lights would fit inside. At this point, I also decided to include a shelf layer from this decorative metal sheeting that I purchased for another project. But first I needed to create a back for the shelves that would finish them off and help me attach them securely on the wall. I cut some scrap wood to fit inside the back opening. Then I pre-drilled some holes and screwed the back piece into place temporarily. I take it apart again later to finish up and hang the shelves. But while it was assembled, I measured carefully to get the right size for the metal and the plexiglass.
To cut the plexi, I placed tape roughly along the measurements on both sides. This will help me get a clean cut. Then I measured again and marked the lines at the correct spots. Then back to the skill saw to make the cuts. If you can't find plexi at a good price, you might consider using pre-cut glass or a thicker metal grate. The metal that I'm using is too flimsy. I should mention that a lot of mistakes were made in this process. I edited them out to move things along, but there were some bad cuts. I ended up hanging one of the shelves twice because I didn't like the placement. Mistakes definitely happen along the way in the DIY process, so I just encourage you to power through. It'll be worth it. For the metal, I used the plexi as a template to see where I could reach a good stopping point in the pattern. Then I cut along the shape with tin snips. This part was so satisfying and stress-free compared to all the sawing. Finally, I needed a way to hold the plexi and metal in place near the top of the shelves. I found these little pegs on Amazon that would work perfectly. When drilling the holes, I didn't want the drill to go all the way through the outside, so I placed the peg against my drill bit and taped around the bit at the correct depth so that I would know where to stop when drilling. If you use this method, just be sure to wrap the tape super tightly and press it into the groove so that it won't slide up. I drilled the holes and tapped in the pegs all the way around the drawer, including the back piece. I also created some grooves with the skill saw to allow my light cords to pass from one shelf to another and to plug into the wall. This step really depends on the lights that you're working with and the positioning of your shelves. If you want to recreate this and need more detail on this part, let me know in the comments. To hang the shelves, I placed the two back pieces where I thought they should go and marked the height as well as the center of the wall. If you have more than one stud in the wall you're hanging the shelves on, you should be able to drill directly into where the studs are and have it hold well enough. However, my wall only had one stud right in the center, so I screwed into that first and then used these toggle bolts on either side to help hold the weight. Once the back pieces were secure on the wall, I reattached the back pieces to the shelves to hang the shelves. Next, I measured and cut a plastic cord cover to fit between the shelves and to reach the plug to secure all the cords away. I also drilled a hole in the bottom of the lower drawer so that I would be able to access the switch on the inside. As a finishing touch, I used my plexiglass pieces as templates to cut pieces of parchment paper for the shelves. Layering this over the metal and under the plexi gave the shelves some opacity to hide all the cords and hardware. And with that, we're done.